Welcome back, my beautiful, beautiful students. I am your further unkempt Professor Ricky, and this is the extra credit of the Weebology podcast. I've had a pretty good week. I slipped a little bit back into the void. I kind of foolishly went and hung out with some siblings. Shout out to Mare and Joe and Jen, and we just chilled at our family pool, which we were blessed enough to have. But I kind of fell asleep on the couch and kind of, didn't record with Ethan when I said we would. So today on this beautiful Thursday, we will be recording a couple episodes of the main Weebology podcast. But let's dive into episode 5. And for you YouTube gang, I have an extra treat. Me and Ethan were chatting, and we felt that maybe if we're going to give you guys spoilers and kind of details about these episodes, why not follow along? So every so often you'll see a piece of the episode here as I react to it, because I literally just watched it. Might I say, this opening rips so hard. So good. It's just so good. And we'll have a good time with it. So let's jump right in. We are at the third round at the beginning of this episode with the team that had just been shown another crown thrown out of Kuhn's bag. And we then find out, like I had mentioned last time, that his bag in fact has copying powers. So he gives the real crown to Bomb, but then Kuhn unloads, like you'll see in this clip right now, so many crowns! I told y'all they'd be copying shit. A whole bunch of crowns? So the idea is he has a bag that not only has very high defense capabilities, but also can copy things. And Rack kind of demolishes round 3 by throwing his spear so hard that he actually knocks out the entire competition. Ooh! He's a beefy boy. I'm super into Rack being this powerhouse, strength user. He is just a beefy boy supreme without any reservations. And round 3 is a piece of cake for them. So we get into round 4, and this round does not actually last very long, because as this next clip coming up, you'll see that Bomb actually ties his hair in a knot, and this proves to be not just, I'm going serious mode. It was a signal. Hold on, they're shipping some stuff right now. They're shipping it. Even Rack is like, the fuck? Wait, what? That he knew. That's what the heaviness was other team. What? What? It was a signal because he reveals that he actually hid another team inside of his bag to fight for him in this competition. Now I'm super curious. Did he know that this bonus round was going to take place? Did he know this crown game was going to happen? There's no way he could have known that, but I'm not ruling it out. Kuhn seems a little more savvy in this episode than he had in previous, and I think he might know more than we were let on to believe. So he basically ties his hair up. The other team takes that as a signal to jump into action and destroy the rest of the team and then walk back to the cage. Round 4 goes to Bomb, Kuhn, and Rack. That is Turtle Team, as I'm calling it, because Rack has said it best. They're both turtles. So Turtle Team wins it in the 4th round. Now the 5th round. We have 3 teams. But our hooded team, the one with Rachel on it, that big boy supreme, and the one chick who called Ionku a traitor, imposter even, is now up. to try to take the crown. And when this starts, this kind of weird, like, woman in latex and a mask starts beating the hell out of everyone, Rack included, with what looks like a very heavy kind of bow staff. Like, it's just this massive metal staff. And she then kind of starts to wallop on everybody, and when she goes after the crown itself, the hooded team jumps in. The chick who called Ionku an imposter jumps in to defend Bon? Wait a minute. Why is she protecting him? Why does she care? Why does she care? Maybe there's a pact. Like, what? That's not something that you would think would happen, but here we are. And maybe the whole team is trying to defend Bon on Rachel's behalf. Speaking of Rachel, there is a moment between Bomb and Rachel that is actually super interesting. What? That is Rachel. I mean, we knew that, right? We knew it was Rachel. Basically, she recognizes that she knows Bomb. Bomb recognizes Rachel and says to him, "We're not here for the crown. I'm protecting you." To the point where even Beefy Boy Supreme, the big guy in the hood, stands in front of Bomb as if to also protect him. What is this team doing? Like, what is their objective here? I'm really curious to see their part to play in this tower climb. But then the crazy the bow staff chick and the girl who called Ionku an imposter, I'm gonna call her High Heel Girl, because there's a moment in this fight that I really love. I love that. I love that. Basically, women wearing, say, like, high heels and, like, kind of high fashion stuff during shonen fights is, again, another unspoken, unutilized trope that just seems to happen in a lot of fighting anime, that they're wearing high heels or, you know, like, bra armor, or just very feminine stuff. But in this particular fight, she uses a kick to defend against the bow staff chick's bow staff, and her heel breaks. And she loses footing because her heel breaks. I love that. That is a subversion of using, like, high fashion as clothing and attire for women in shonen. And I don't know if they meant to go that far with that analogy, but I really think it did work to that effect. So once she has lost her footing, bow staff chick goes in. She is ready to go clip into Bomb and take the crown for herself. And she takes a crack at Rachel. Clearly Rachel. Square in the noggin. Blood and everything. Bomb then leaves the throne. He leaves, crown off, feet off, and then she cracks him over the back of the head. No! The crown! No! No, he left the throne! What? She cracked him over the... He's gotta be dead now, right? He's gotta be dead. And then you kind of get a flashback of his resolve to protect Rachel, and then the moment of the episode happens. He releases this blast of yellow light power, almost looks like Shinzu. What? What? Is that Shinzu? Is that Shinzu? Hold on. What? Like, he basically just unloads this wave, this torrent of Shinzu, to the point where the bow staff chick, her mask cracks off, she is incapacitated, everyone around him is awestruck, and the crown itself dissolves. The crown game ends with no winner. That's cool to me. So Leah Rio and the guy who committed the door test as an administrator have this meeting, and I like, you'll see in this clip that the test administrator from the door test offers his quote unquote special cafe latte, which is just instant coffee and hot water, and Leah Rio is just like, it's just instant coffee. Wait, instant coffee? They just have that in this world? The fuck am I looking at right now? But he has it nonetheless. And they have a discussion about how, you know, this test ends with no winner, but that door test administrator says, why do you think we have tests at all? Because we don't want people to climb the tower that could cause harm to it. And at the end of that discussion, Leah Rio asks a very poignant question. Have you ever noticed anyone enter the tower that didn't make a contract with administrators, aka irregulars, people that got in of their own fruition, manage to use Shinzu without said contract? And the other test administrator says that would violate the laws of the tower. Again, alluding to the fact that irregulars, by definition, are allowed to break the rules as they make them. So, like, this conversation added another rule, is that those that didn't make a contract with an administrator shouldn't be able to use Shinzu. So Sleepy Boy Supreme from last episode must have made a contract with an administrator, a ranker, at some point to use the Shinzu and be a wave controller the way he was. However, Bomb, as an irregular, didn't do that and managed to pull off this crazy Shinzu move. And we are let in on another irregular that seemed to have a similar law violation. I will go back and see which one that is. Uric Mazzino, a irregular. This dude, this purple guy, very beefy, looks like, and he's got these crazy, like, 10 or 12 winged tattoo on his back, and also his last name. That's very pompous of him. But another irregular is who he brought up. And Leah Rio basically then is walking away from said meeting and said something really, really poignant. Oh? What? Became Shinzu himself and poses a threat to the tower? What? That it felt as if Bomb didn't just use Shinzu, he became Shinzu. That's crazy to me. Like, this is a power system where that would be like in Naruto, you didn't just use chakra, you became chakra yourself. You didn't just use Nen in Hunter x Hunter, you became Nen itself. That is an interesting subversion of power source and power system, where you didn't just use it, you became it, as it were. It's almost as if, like Full Metal Alchemist, you didn't use a transmutation circle to use alchemy, you used your body to become an alchemic conduit. It's as if Bon became a Shinzu conduit and just became a pure source of it. So this really added a very interesting mechanic to this power system that makes me think, what exactly is Shinzu, right? Is it a matter of soul? Is it a matter of spirit? Is it a matter of presence? If someone can become Shinzu, what does that make Shinzu as a power source? I'm really intrigued to find out what that means. The episode ends in a very interesting way, because as Bomb is sleeping, kind of in a comatose state after becoming a pure source of power, as it were, Kun is sitting in his room, and the administrator gave everybody a 3-day break. But a visitor arrives at the room. What? It's Rachel! It's okay, thank you. Thank God. Rachel! It's clearly Rachel. And turns out that visitor is in fact Rachel, and she says her name is Rachel. Clear cut, we're done here, pack it up. It is in fact Rachel. So I'm really curious in this next episode 6 what her business is with Bomb outside of just the fact that, she's an acquaintance with him. And speaking of acquaintances, we can go back to that conversation that Leah Rio and that other test administrator had, and another rule was made, or at least let known to the audience, that acquaintances cannot both be in the same tower. They both can't participate in climbing the same tower if they know each other, which that one's left field to me. I'm really interested to find out exactly why that is the case, because what's wrong with acquaintances rising the tower together? I don't understand why that would be an issue, and I imagine later in the series we'll find out why. So this was a very dense episode. It was one that had a lot of character development, as opposed to last episode was more about the power systems of the weapons and stuff like that. But this one, the relationship between Bomb and Rachel is now put to the test because they are both climbing the same tower together, and apparently Bond's status as an irregular means he should never have entered this tower in the first place because, as we said, acquaintances can't climb the same tower, but him entering it from episode 1 of his own fruition means he's breaking so many rules, and that's been kind of the theme of Bomb in this, that he is just pile driving through the rules and the traditions and the mechanics of a given tower because he's an irregular. So I'm really excited for episode 6. I would give this one maybe even an 85. I know last one is 83, but this one is 85. It had a lot more awesome Sakuga. I think the story was progressed in a very fun way. Rack was shown off to be this beefy powerhouse user, and Kun, there was a scene where Bomb and Kun were kind of sitting on a throne together, and then Kun just kind of lays on his lap, and I'm like, this is just ship bait. This is shipping bait. People are going to ship these two hard, without a doubt. So they did a lot of kind of interesting, fun things in this episode that, I think subverted or laid credence to other tropes in shonen and just anime in general. So thank you very much for listening to this extra credit. Ethan's been watching Gleipnir. I finally caught up. Oh my gosh, it is such a weird show, but I'm really kind of into it. Vending machines and weird mascot costumes and all that. But if you want to check us out on YouTube, please do. We're going to be doing more visual stuff for you guys, the YouTube gang that listen. But if you want to listen with your ears and not your eyes, go check us out on Google, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, CastBox, and anywhere else you get your podcast fix. Check us out on Instagram at weebology.podcast. We got memes on news whenever we can get them out, and keep y'all updated in this isolation situation. If you want to drop us a line about an anime we should be watching, hit us up on our Gmail, weebologypodcast at gmail.com, or our Twitter, weebologyp. Ethan wants to fix it, but I don't think we should because I really like that name. So thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm Ricky, that was Ethan, and this has been Weebology. Deuces!